People are still trickling in. So we'll give it one more minute. All right, we'll go ahead and start introductions while people are coming in. So hello, everyone. Welcome to the MIT LGO Application Tips webinar. My name is Emma Shortall. I'm the LGO Admissions Coordinator. And with me, I have Dominic Lamano. Dominic, would you like to say hi?
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Dominic Lamano, as Emma just mentioned. I am the Director of Admissions and Marketing and excited to talk about application tips with you all today.
And then also, as part of the webinar, we have 3 current students. So if y'all could introduce yourself, let's start with Joe.
Sure. Hey, everyone. I'm Joe Atiye, originally from Lebanon. I'm a current LGO student doing ECS for my engineering degree, electrical engineering and computer science. And I'm happy to be with you today to provide application tips for all of you.
Matt, do you want to go ahead?
Sure. Hey, everyone. My name is Matt Hull, also first year LGO student, class of 26. I'm doing my degree in mechanical engineering, as well as the MBA, obviously. Originally from Virginia and coming from a military background.
And then Pat.
And then I'll finish us off. I'm Patrick Sherry, also a 26 year, doing my engineering discipline with civil engineering. I'd grown up outside of the Philadelphia area and then coming from a tech background in the DC area. Happy to be here.
Perfect. So we're going to jump on into the webinar. So we'll just start off with a little bit of information about the LGO program in general, and then we'll jump right into the different application components and our tips and tricks.
And Emma, while you're setting that up, a few things, technical things, folks. If you could use the Q&A box for questions as we go along, that would be super helpful. Not the chat. The chat's a little confusing with the Q&A box. We all can answer them and keep them organized. And by all means, if you have any questions throughout the process, please dump them into the Q&A box. We will have a Q&A session at the end for dedicated time for questions. But if we put out an acronym or a term you don't know or understand, by all means, you can ask a question whenever. Thanks, Emma.
Yeah, of course. So we'll jump right in. So the LGO program is a 2-year dual degree program. So you're a full student of the MIT Sloan MBA program, the MIT Engineering Department you're doing your master's in, and then the LGO program. We have our own LGO staff for student services, career network, financing, and action learning. It is a 24-month dual degree master's program. So you're getting your MBA and MS in engineering. It is primarily on campus besides the 6-month internship that you do at one of our 20+ partner companies. You also do thesis research conducted during the internship, and that's what you write your thesis on. You do get 2 faculty advisors assigned, one from the School of Engineering and one from the School of Management, in addition to the program advisors on the LGO team. So we'll jump right in. So these are the different engineering departments you can go into. We do have 7. And as you can see, LGO is kind of at the intersection of the School of Engineering, MIT Sloan, and the LGO industry partners. We've been around for over 35 years. Oh, the slide's not sharing.
All right, but yeah, you got to share the slides.
Oh, sorry. I thought they were sharing.
That's okay. I did that twice last week. That's good. Now you're on mute, Emma. Sorry.
I don't know what's going on today.
It's a Monday.
Apparently. So it is the 7 engineering departments here. And then as you can see in this chart, it is the intersection of the School of Engineering, MIT Sloan, and the LGO industry partners. So we have been around for 35 years. We've been around for a while and a pretty well-established program. Every student is guaranteed a fellowship award, and I think I've covered everything there. So we'll jump right into the current class and the statistics we have here. So this year's class is 45 students, with 27% being international and 31% being women. The average years of work experience is 5 years post-graduation. We have 9 countries represented. The average GPA is 3.73. Average GMAT is 728, and the average GRE quant is 167. And you can see below the ranges of the GMAT and the GRE quant range, as well as the different undergraduate majors our class of 2026 came from. So as you can see, everyone's kind of coming from a different background. There's no rhyme or reason to what background you need to have to get into LGO, just as long as it's STEM-based. And then we'll jump right into our application components. So we first have our resume, cover letter, our letters of recommendation with 1 professional letter of recommendation and 1 technical letter of recommendation, with the second technical letter strongly encouraged. There's a statement of purpose, an organizational chart, a 60-second video introduction, a second video question, the GRE or GMAT, and then a short answer about your background. And as a reminder, the deadline for the LGO application is November 6th. We only have 1 round, so make sure to get all of your stuff in by November 6th if you'd like to apply this year. So we'll jump into each of the different components of our application and give some tips and tricks that we have. So for the resume, make sure the resume is professional, well organized, and reflects your career journey clearly. Make sure to include employment history, educational records, and other relevant information. These key sections give us insight to both your academic and career progression, providing a comprehensive picture of your background. Make sure to follow the American-style resume format, so keep it concise and impactful with a 1-page maximum to ensure the most important information is easy to find and digest. And also make sure it's in reverse chronological order. So begin with the most recent experiences for both education and employment to highlight your current status and recent achievements. And then also make sure to focus on results. So when you're listing your job roles, shift the focus from simply stating your job title to emphasizing results and contributions you made in each position. Also include awards, scholarships, and professional societies. This demonstrates your recognition and active engagement in your field. Make sure to each job entry includes your company, your role, and specific achievements or tasks that showcase your skills, rather just a general description of responsibilities. And then make sure to include extracurriculars, technical skills, certifications, special interests, and languages spoken. These details help to round out your resume by showing additional skills and interests that could set you apart from other candidates. So make sure to, if you have extra room, I know it's hard to fit everything in a 1-page resume, but even if it's just something fun about you at the bottom, that would just be great to know about you. And then we have our cover letter. So your cover letter should clearly state your intention to apply for the MIT LGO program, and also make sure to address it to Dr. Thomas Romer, who is our executive director. For the format, make sure to adhere to standard business correspondence. This includes using a professional tone, proper formatting, and a clear structure to ensure readability. You do need to keep your letter concise, limiting it to 300 words or fewer, excluding the address and salutation. This brevity encourages clarity and impact. Also make sure to include examples from your experiences to illustrate your qualifications. This helps the reader see the concrete evidence of your capabilities and character. Also, highlight traits that align with MIT LGO's mission, such as leadership, creativity, and independence. Demonstrate how these qualities make you a suitable candidate for the program. Also, make sure to be aligned with the MIT LGO values. So make connections between your experiences and the values of the MIT LGO program. Show how you can contribute to the academic and community aspects of the program. Also focus on impact. So emphasize how your past experiences have prepared you to make a significant impact at MIT. Discuss your aspirations for both contributing to both the LGO community and the broader MIT environment. Moving along to the letters of recommendation. So each applicant must submit 2 letters of recommendation, one professional and one technical. There's an option to include a 3rd technical recommendation, which is strongly encouraged by the LGO admissions team. For the professional recommendation, this letter should come from someone who can accurately speak to your professional achievements and potential. It's essential that the recommender knows your work well enough to provide meaningful insights into your skills and contributions. For the technical recommendation, it should be from someone familiar with your engineering and technical projects or coursework. It's beneficial to choose recommenders who can provide detailed observations about your abilities in these areas. When choosing recommenders, select individuals who genuinely know you and your work, so this ensures that they can provide specific examples and strong endorsement of your qualifications. It's also crucial to ask your recommenders well in advance. They do have the same deadline as you, so they do need to submit it by November 6th. This will give them ample time to prepare a thoughtful letter without feeling rushed, which can lead to a stronger recommendation. Also, do not write their letter for them. While you can provide your recommenders with background information about your experiences and goals, it is important that they write it themselves. Their authentic voice and perspective are what will make the recommendation truly impactful. And so we're going to throw it over to our amazing LGO 26s to kind of get some tips on what they did, who they chose for their letters of rec, and why. Anyone want to get started in particular? Not a call.
I can get started. Sorry, Patrick, I saw you unmuted, so you go next. Personally, for my letter of recommendation, so I requested 3. One, so I come from a management consulting background, and I made sure to ask someone who knows me a lot and who I worked with a lot and who can give specific examples of what did I do well before during my consulting career. I mean, I could have sometimes like people ask me, should I go for the more senior person or the person who knows me more? And I would go with the person who knows me more, because at the end, you don't want like a generic letter about yourself without specific example that can be like reused to anyone else. So I would definitely recommend going with someone who really knows you and can give like concrete example of what has gone well while working with you, basically. For the technical recommendation letters, since I don't have a technical career experience, so I had to go to my university professor. So I also went to 2 professors who know me a lot from from my undergrad back home. And yeah, basically these are the 2 technical recommenders that I asked for.
I think I had kind of a similar like setup on mine. So my professional recommender had just been my direct boss at work. And then I came from a software background. So one of the technical recommenders was like a chief architect who I was working pretty closely with on my current project, and kind of like echoing Joe's point, like the reason that I chose him was that we did have a relationship and he could speak about specific things that I was doing. And then my 3rd one was another technical one from a professor from college who I had like done some research with. And I think like one extra thing to add is like when choosing the recommenders, like also think through like what story you're telling with the cover letter or statement of purpose. And maybe if you're highlighting specific things that you've done, think of like what people can actually speak and kind of like further build credibility on that story in a letter.
Anything else to add, Matt? If not,
Emma, I have a couple of live questions that are about Rex that I figure right now would be a good time to ask. One question from Aman: for letters of rec, is it required to have a business recommendation, considering it's an application coming from an ECS, CS background? So Aman, that's basically the professional letter of rec. We want you to kind of get a rec from someone in your professional experience and your professional career. And so that would suffice for that. Next, we have a question. I've been working in a research lab in a university, so my professional and technical recommendation would be the same as my full-time work was technical in a research lab. Would this be okay? No, it would not be okay. We need to have different letters of different people filling out your letters of recommendation. So you do need to get different recommendors for each of your recommendations. And then one other one. How do you go about approaching college professors years after graduation for technical recommendation? Will coursework, technical capabilities during college year suffice? No, that won't suffice. You do still need a technical recommendation. And I would just approach him by, asking him, students, do you have any stories or tips about approaching your recommenders and how that worked?
Sure. I mean, in my case, so basically I just emailed two professors who I'm sure that remember me from my undergrad. These were like the professors that I worked most with, and I haven't spoken to them like since the past 8 years. So I just sent them an email. They were responsive. I also like send them some examples, like reminding them what type of work did we do together, send them my transcript again to remind them like how much I scored on their courses, and based on these examples and like reminding them what did we do together, they were happy like to write a recommendation letter for me.
Yeah, I think if I could jump in there too, to Joe's point, mine was basically the same. Like I had not actually spoken to my capstone advisor from undergrad for my final senior capstone project since I graduated, and for me that was 12 years. So it's quite a while. He had actually retired since then, so I had to track him down. But I think most professors from undergrad are going to be happy to write a recommendation if you're able to provide them with like, hey, this is what we did together, like a reminder. So I sent him a copy of the poster and the paper that my group had produced as our capstone project, just to remind them like, hey, this is the class I took with you. This was the work that we did. This is like just a couple other things in an email to remind them, as well as my transcripts. I think that provided enough context that professor was able to write it. I did supplement, especially with that one being so old, as kind of my academic technical recommendation. I also had a guy, I was a pilot in the military, so I had one of the guys just ahead of me, kind of in the peer group ahead of me, so a little bit my senior in the squadron, be able to talk to, he was my optional third letter of recommendation, and he could talk to like the technical aspects of our job as pilots in the Marine Corps. So he kind of brought in that like application of technical knowledge. So I think that helped round it out. So that was how I used that third recommendation to kind of supplement the technical side.
Yeah, I think to echo that, like I had a similar experience. I'd reached out to a professor from college. It had been several years at that point. I think like people are more willing to respond and help than you typically think when you reach out cold, was like my overall takeaway. And then just like a general refresher on like, hey, here's what I've done. And then like also like feel free to emphasize like what you want someone to highlight in like a letter, like not necessarily saying like give them specific points, but like here's things that are helpful to talk about, or here's what I'm working on, and think of how like recommenders can kind of play off of each other, like what Matt was saying.
Yeah, actually, Pat, if I'll jump back in again. I actually came up with a document for each of my recommenders and specified. So like it was kind of a half thank you letter, half like these are the points that I recommend, like the kind of the geometries you take at the letter of recommendation. And I took those points directly from the application itself. So I clearly stated like, dear so-and-so, thank you for volunteering to write this letter. This is after I spoke with them, by the way. So I got the initial tentative, yes, I'll write it. And then to send them like, hey, thank you very much. You are my technical recommender. And the other one was like, you are my professional recommender, and sent like 3 or 4 bullet points. But like, these are the topics that I kind of need you to hit, coming directly from the application. And then the final section was like, hey, here are a few suggestions of a reminder of things that I did while I worked for you, for projects that I worked on in undergrad that you can tie into it. And then, close it with like, hey, please feel free. Let me know how I can help you, or what more information I can provide to help you out with this kind of thing.
Thank you much. Sorry, we've had a couple more rec questions. I just want to get them while we're talking about recs. Is that okay, Emma?
Look, can we do like one more so we can make sure we hit everything?
Yeah, sorry. One more question was, can I submit 3 recommendation letters, 2 business and 1 technical? I would recommend submitting 3 recs for sure, but I would reverse it, just do 2 technical and 1 professional. Okay. Sorry, Emma.
No, you're good. So now we have the statement of purpose. So the statement of purpose is your chance to explain why you want to enroll in the chosen engineering department. It should convey your passion and rationale clearly. So start with a compelling introduction that outlines your primary motivations, choosing the specific department, and consider what attracted you to its programs, faculty, and resources. So clearly articulate your academic and research interests. So mention specific topics, projects, or challenges in engineering that you find inspiring. This demonstrates your engagement with the field and helps the committee understand your focus. Also outline your long-term career aspirations. So explain how the education and experiences you'll gain from this program will help you achieve these goals. So make the connection between your academic journey and your future career path clear. Also discuss how the department's relationship with the LGO program aligns with your academic and professional objectives. So highlight any unique opportunities that LGO will provide that will enhance your educational experience. Also make sure to keep it to 300 words. This encourages you to focus on the most critical points and present your ideas clearly. And make sure to be specific. So use concrete examples and specific language throughout your statement. So avoid vague statements, and detailed descriptions will make your application more compelling. And then maintain clarity. Ensure that your writing is clear and coherent, and each section should flow logically into the next, guiding the reader through your motivations and goals without confusion. And let's see here. Next, we have our organizational chart. So the purpose of the organizational chart is that we want to see where you are within your current team and department. So it should illustrate how your position contributes to the overall functionality and success of the organization. Ensure the chart does not exceed 2 pages. This keeps the information concise and focused. Include relevant details such as names and titles to give a clear picture of the organizational structure, but if necessary, you can redact names for confidentiality. We just want to see a comprehensive view of where you are. Also clearly indicate who you report to within the organization, and if applicable, who reports to you. So this clarity will help the viewers and the readers understand the hierarchy and your place within it. And then if any of your current recommenders are included in the chart, make sure to highlight their position. This will just provide additional context for the readers when they are reviewing your application. Going into the introduction video. The goal of this video is to introduce yourself to your future classmates. None of your classmates will ever see this video. This is just for the admissions committee, but the topic is to introduce yourself. So it's an opportunity to showcase your personality and make a connection before classes begin. So we can kind of see who you are and what you're interested in, maybe outside of class. So make sure to keep your video at 60 seconds. This encourages you to focus on key points about yourself without going into too much detail. For recording location, make sure to choose a comfortable setting such as your desk or table at home. It can be other places that you feel comfortable. So some people have done it on like a basketball court or on a mountain. But make sure it's a place you know and you love and can kind of explain why you're there. Also make sure to focus on how you present yourself rather than your video editing skills. We want just a one shot, one take. We don't want to see like flashing graphics and all that. We just kind of want to see who you are. And then also for framing, make sure obviously we can see your face and from like the shoulders up. Also audio quality. So an example of someone is being on a mountain, but sometimes mountains can be super windy. So make sure that we can hear you, that the audio is clear. So if needed, use a microphone, like one of those ones you can connect to your iPhone if necessary, but we just want to make sure we are able to hear you in the video because that's a necessary point. And then overall, just remember this is your chance to make a great first impression on the admissions committee. So be genuine and express your excitement. And a well-delivered video can help set the tone for your experience and with the admissions committee. So I'm going to jump into the LGO 26s. If you can maybe explain what you did with your video and why, or any other tips you have for prospective students applying.
I think like the biggest thing to echo from what Emma said is like one, make sure you can be heard. I think like getting creative is like beneficial to an extent, but like the most important part is that like people can see you and hear you. I'd done mine at like Great Falls, which is like an outdoor park between like Virginia and Maryland. had shot it just on like my phone. I had someone recording me and did a few different takes. And I think like the main goal from my perspective was like the application, like essays are mostly about like your professional self and what you want to do. Like the video is more so like your personality. Like I don't think I touched on many career things, just more so like things that I find fun, what I like doing. I like hiking, so that's why I'd done it at a park. I know some people had done theirs like around like biking or different things too.
Yeah, and to add on what Patrick mentioned, so initially when I was thinking about my video, so I wanted to go crazy. So I love aviation. I wanted to show like some sort of something related to aviation in my video. So I was thinking of filming it maybe inside the cockpit or something like that. But then I was like, that's gonna be tough with the engine sound and everything. So instead of doing so, I thought that maybe I should be less creative, and I just took the video from my apartment in Boston last year. But in terms of the content of the video, so the thing is, like as Emma mentioned already, we have 3 essays that you guys should write, and we have like very limited number of words that you should write per essay. So I took the video as a chance to talk about whatever I hadn't enough space to talk about in my cover letter, statement of purpose, and the essay about like the background, basically. So I would recommend, like in general, just to think about your story as a whole and think what you want to write in the cover letter, statement of purpose, and background essays. Avoid any redundancies, and maybe use the video to talk about any points that you think that you want to mention as well and you didn't get the chance to mention it in your application.
We'll
And
move on to the, I know, I don't know, I clicked it and then it didn't work. I don't know. So now we'll move on to the second video question. This is new this year. So all LGO applicants will be prompted to respond to a randomly generated open-ended question. So this is designed to help the admissions team get to know you better and assess your fit with the MIT Sloan culture. So there isn't any need for prior preparation. This question is meant to be answered on the spot. So this allows you to showcase your authentic self. So it will only show on your application once you are about 80% complete with the other sections. You will have 5 seconds to prepare after the question is presented, and make sure to use this time to collect your thoughts before giving your 60-second response. You will have time beforehand to test your computer, test your audio, all of that fun technical stuff. But besides that, this is an opportunity for you to demonstrate your personality and how you might fit into the MIT community. So approach the question with confidence and authenticity, as this can be a memorable aspect of your application, not aspiration. Then we'll jump into the GRE or GMAT. So we do take the GMAT Focus Edition and 10th Edition and the GRE. They are essential components of the application process, as they contribute to the holistic evaluation of each applicant. So you do need to submit GMAT or GRE. One second, sorry, there isn't any other test we need, so no TOEFL, any of that. We do just look at the GMAT or GRE. So the both remote and the in-person versions of the exams are accepted. There is a test waiver, but it is just for people who are completely unable to submit a test score. So if you're in a situation where you're unable to take the test, that's when you will be able to submit a test waiver request. And if you do submit one, the admissions committee will review it and then inform you if you were approved or not. You do also self-report your test scores in the application deadline. So you do not need the official scores just yet for the application, but we will use the official scores as for final application processing. And then pay attention to the details for the test submission and the waivers. We will need the official test scores, so make sure to read those on how to send like the official test scores to MIT. That will all be in your application. And then we also have the short answer. This is required this year, and the question is, how has the world you come from shaped who you are today? and the response will be limited to 250 words. So reflect on how key aspects of your life, such as your family, culture, community, have all shaped your values, your beliefs, your perspectives, or anything about you. Maybe consider including specific stories or anecdotes that provide insight into your journey and your influence. And also just show how these different influences have contributed to shaping your identity, personal growth, and outlook on life. And then last but not least, we're going to open up for questions. Dominic, if you have any off the top.
Yeah, we have a lot. Hang on. Yeah, so first, before we start, what time is it right now? We have 15 minutes. Okay. I'm just going to get to questions that are application tip type of questions. If you have other questions that aren't about application tips, I'm going to save them to the end. If we don't get to them, please email lgo@mit.edu and we can talk about those questions. So it's going to be application tips only right now. Equally, if you have specific questions about your own candidacy, like you got this GPA, that is really, we should take that offline. So email lgo@mit.edu. If you have a resume and a transcript, that really helps. Send that with your email. And so for specific questions, let's wait, send it to email. Okay, first up, I'm most interested in the mechanical engineering department, but most of my professional technical experience is in data science and software. Should I bias towards technical references that speak to my mechanical background, or those that are most familiar with my technical work? If you're applying to mechanical, then we want to know about your mechanical technical expertise. So yes, you should lean towards mechanical if that's what you're applying to. Next up, it is recommended for a technical rec letter to be directly tied, same question, to the department you're applying to. So for example, if I'm applying to EECS, I'd have a strong relationship with a stats professor. So again, your technical rec should be focused in on the department you're applying to, because that's the department you're applying to. Next up, the intro video should be recorded with a computer. Yeah, Emma, you were going to answer live, but it could be either way. You do phone, it could be computer. It's up to you. The intro video we really try not to give you instructions because we want you to do your thing on the intro video. We want to see who you are. Like the students were mentioning, this is our only kind of non-academic piece to the application. So we in the admissions world love the videos, but we purposely don't give you details because we want you to drive that creative force. Next up. Hang on, let me just pre-screen these really quick. With there being a heavy focus on professional experience, so we got a lot of questions about experience. So here's the thing on experience. Our applicants average 5 years of experience. Our program is very much, we want the students to relay stories about their experience in class. It's very interactive. So we want to hear about your successes. We want to hear about your failures and how you did that. So the average age is 5. The lowest we usually go is 3. We have once or twice admitted some with 2. So, but there's no technical rule to applying if you don't have that. However, just know you'll be going up against applications that have on average 5 years of experience. And we do heavily look at experience because, again, we want you to bring that to the classroom. So if you're just graduating from college, it's best to get some experience first, to be honest. We got to wait and get some experience before you apply. Okay, moving on. And everybody jump in here. I feel like I'm yakking up a storm. What is the best way to represent our broader professional career? Namely, for the cover letter, is it better to focus on the achievements from one of our roles or expand to include other experiences as well?
You want to pull from our 26s and ask what they did with their cover letter?
Yeah, good. That's a good point because I feel like I am talking too much. 26s. Tell me about your approach to the cover letter and how you approached it, what you were thinking, and what you finally did. Go ahead, Pat.
So at least for mine, I drilled in on a couple of specific experiences. Like we've mentioned, like the word count is pretty tight. I think it was like 300 words or so. So from my standpoint, like I tried to structure it of, I think, like 2 different experiences that I felt tied to like my application overall. And then gave a little bit more detail on those. I think like when thinking about the examples too, just think how everything in the application like pieces together as well. Like how can your cover letter tie to what you want to do with your statement of purpose? How does that field into a letter of recommendation? And if there's gaps, how can you fill it in with one other component of the application?
Kind of building off that too, I treated the like statement of purpose as a little bit more forward looking, like beyond LGO, whereas the cover letter was like, what can you bring to the rest of the LGO cohort? So kind of think of it as a compliment. Like normally that would go with the resume, right? Like cover letter and resume. So it can be like, what information do you need to convey between the lines of the resume, or like back behind the lines of the resume, for lack of a better analogy. And how you can communicate like not what you want to get out of the program, but what you can bring to the program and offer to others. That's how I went about it.
Great. Thanks, guys. Moving on. Sorry, and we're just a little bit short on time, so I want to try to get all these. Emma, let's talk about these 2 org chart ones real quick live. So we had a question about for the org chart, is having subordinates a requirement? No, it's not a requirement. I mean, if you do, though, it definitely would be a good thing to report for sure. But if you don't have subordinates, it's okay. Next up, if my organization is very flat with dozens of employees, I don't interact with under one manager. Should they still all be included in the chart, or should I omit unrelated employees? Better fit for clarity. I don't think you should omit anyone. I think you should. The chart, as we mentioned, is just a representative of where you stand professionally. So you want to just paint a picture of where you stand. And org charts are fairly standard, so we want you to just give us your org chart without doing any changes or omissions. We just want to see where you stand in your organization. Next up, there's another question about CEE and research interest. Is there a possibility to secure a sponsored internship with a new company prior to starting? No. All of our internships are with our company partners. Okay, randomly just going through the list. Class of 26 seem to have the biggest chunk of EECS this time. Does LGO focus on operations align with typical software engineers? Well, yeah, I mean, all of our departments will align with what's going on. We try to keep current. We try to keep, what's going on in the industry. So the other thing I wanted to point out here, yes, we do have a big chunk of EECS this time, but that flows every year. We don't have quotas or anything like that to kind of push to for each department. What applications we get, if you're qualified, you're in. So no quotas, and yes, we do try to stay as current as possible.
I'll grab the next one.
Yeah, go ahead, please go. I'm yakking too much.
Which is an example of a second video question. There are like over 250 that can be populated, but one could be something as like give an example of a problem you had at your past job experience and how you were able to solve it. I've also seen one that is, why do you want to apply to this program? So it can completely differ, and they're all randomly generated.
And again, to reinforce, we're not evaluating on your answer. It's more about your ability to quickly look at a question, come up and to show your communication skills. So it's not about being right or wrong. And then the 80% thing, I'm not sure exactly where the 80% is. It's around 80%. So you should, as you go, the tab will automatically pop up. Internships I'm going to wait on because I know we have only a few more minutes left. I want to get to applications. Test waiver should be pretty quick. How long does it take to hear back from the test waiver? Does it negatively impact an applicant to apply with a test waiver? So we rarely give test waivers, but if you apply and it's approved, it won't negatively impact your, so if we approve it, it won't, but I will say it takes some extraordinary thing to get out of the test. It is required, and we are hoping that all applicants do submit. Okay, moving on. Is an unofficial score acceptable at the deadline as long as you receive this official score within a week?
Yes.
Yeah, that should be fine.
Is make sure to send the unofficial, like if you are able to input the unofficial score in with everything, make sure to do that. But if it doesn't if you don't have like the full information, sometimes they don't give you all the percentiles or something like that. You can send it up to 2 weeks after the deadline, but there is a chance that we will start reviewing it the day after the deadline. So make sure to plan for that.
Most of the GMAT stats are for the 10th edition. Are there any stats for the focused edition publicly available? Not publicly available, but they are available. We're starting to get a lot more focused edition. There's also not a ton of data on the focused edition yet because it's so new. But as the data gets more available, we will start publicly posting it out there. Next up, my company org chart is confidential. Can I use a PowerPoint chart that shows where I stand? Yeah, I mean, as long as we get an idea of where you stand in your company, you can delete all the confidential information. But we just, again, do need to just see where you stand. So we want to make sure we get that picture after you omit the confidential information. I will be finishing my bachelor in July. Can I, again, you can definitely apply, but just know that you'll be going up against applicants that have on average 5 years of work experience. Can we edit the intro videos in whatever way we see fit? Yeah, do your thing.
I mean, no, there's no editing of the video.
Oh, I thought you meant like, I mean, they can, you can do a second take if you don't like your first take. That the video intro is not live like the second question. But right, sorry, Emma, I see the question. We don't want you to do a full production like it's a movie and everything. We wanted just a quick 60-second intro. But you know, if you screw up, you can do a retake and something like that. Yeah. Okay, quickly, a couple more minutes. Let me see, hang on. We want to wait on that one. Those 5 years of experience, consider a year and a half as an intern. It's full-time post-undergrad work experience. So no, but you can definitely add that on your resume. You know, if it's a good internship, definitely add it on your resume. That's information that we would like. Does the application portal reflect if the test waiver has been approved or declined? You will get it also by email as well. So you'll know. What were your responses to how you would contribute? Could you share? That I want to send on email. We don't have enough time to do that. Can a professional recommendation not comment about the 2 technical prompts that are included? Again, if the question was, can a professional recommender also comment about the 2 technical prompts that are included in the list for the prompts sent? Or is the professional recommender expected to leave those 2 prompts? Go ahead, Emma.
Yeah, they can. So the technical, so they can kind of do either. Just make sure they're hitting their prompts, but they can answer the other prompts if they would like.
I work in an international hub with business partners from all the American continent. Do I add my VPs in the org chart? I'm not sure about that one, Marco. I work in an international hub with business. Yeah, we don't. I'm thinking, if I understand the question correctly, we just want the org chart for your company. We don't need business partners. If that's not what I was asking, you're asking, just email us at lgo@mit.edu and we can clarify. Sorry, we got 1 more minute. I don't mean to rush, but I just want to make sure we get to everything. Sorry for pause. Oh, Catalina, for the CE engineering track, is it necessary to identify a target specific advisor before applying? If there's one that you want to work with, you can definitely mention it in the application for sure. Yeah, that always helps. If you ever submit, if you had a significant contact with a current MIT professor or as an advisor, is there a way to communicate that through the application, or is something like that not meant to be evaluated? No, I mean, you could, I'm guessing that you had an advisor through some sort of project or something through MIT. So you could put that on your resume, you know, like extracurricular activities. You had this project that you did this and you had this advisor. So yeah, for sure. You can definitely add, love to hear about that. Any changes in the application requirements for early admits applying to LGO? So Emma, you want to grab that?
Yeah, I mean, if you go into the LGO early application, it is open. So if there's any changes, I think it's pretty similar to last year's.
Woo! Okay, perfect time. We got through everything and it's right at 1 o'clock. If we didn't get to your questions, please email us, lgo@mit.edu. If you have questions for the students, they are always happy to hear from you. We here at Admissions are always happy to hear from you. Please let us know, ask us questions. And that's about it. Am I missing anything?
No, that's it. Thank you all for coming, and we look forward to seeing you at other events.
And we look forward to hopefully reviewing your application. Joe, Pat, Matt, thank you so much. Appreciate your time. Everyone else, have a wonderful day, wonderful rest of your week. And we look forward to talking with you all. Bye-bye.
Good luck, everybody.
That
Yeah, good luck.